In this video, I'm going to break down why most budgets fail and the smartest system that actually works. So you've probably tried budgeting, you downloaded some app, made a spreadsheet, set spending limits, but a week later, you overspent on groceries, tapped into your savings budgets, and then gave up. Sound familiar? Here's the truth. Budgeting doesn't work, at least not in the way you've been taught. I'm Sia, I'm a qualified accountant, and I help people take more control of their personal finances. No fluff, no BS. Alright, so let's talk about why budgets don't actually work. The first reason is that budgets are based on willpower. Let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to control how much gas your car uses just by looking at the fuel meter and saying to yourself, okay, today I'm only going to spend a little fuel? Strange as it sounds, that's exactly how most people treat budgeting. They say, this month I'll only be spending $300 on groceries no matter what. And then life happens. Something's on sale, friends invite you out, you're hungry and you're tired, and boom, you're over budget. But here's the real problem. Traditional budgeting assumes we can willpower our way through every single spending decisions. But humans are terrible at that, especially when we're tired, stressed, or busy. Budgeting like that turns spending your money into a constant negotiation, and eventually you will lose that battle. So instead of trying to micromanage every spending decision, set up a system so that all your money decisions are made way before you receive your money. That's where automation comes in, and we'll talk about that in a bit. The second reason is that budgets create guilt. Have you ever made a to-do list, didn't finish it, and felt kind of useless? Yep, budgets do the same thing to your finances. When you overspend in one category, even by just a little, it feels like you have failed the whole thing. Then what do? You avoid checking your bank account, you stop tracking your spending, and eventually you quit. Here's why. Most traditional budgets are rigid. They don't have space for mistakes or surprises. And when real life happens, like birthdays, emergencies, or just being human, the budget breaks. But here's the thing. A money system should adapt to you, not the other way around. That's why I recommend using spending buckets instead of hard categories. This way, you give yourself flexible spending room and you remove the guilt. We'll get into that exactly, how it works in a minute. So if traditional budgeting fails, what actually works? It's what I call the anti-budgeting system. Let me break it down to you in 3 simple steps. Step 1, automate your priorities first. Pay yourself first before you spend. Automate transfers into your savings account, into investing, into an emergency fund as soon as money lands into your bank account, even if it's just $50, $70, $100. Why? Because money that's not automated gets spent eventually. Step number 2, create spending buckets. Instead of strict categories like transport or entertainment, use spending buckets and only just 3 of those spending buckets. The first one is fixed costs. These are monthly expenses that do not change from month to month. For example, your mortgage or car repayments. The second bucket is future self. These are investments like stocks, index funds, and whatever you feel like investing in for the future. And bucket number 3 is guilt-free spending. This is when you make provision for buying coffee or eating out without hating yourself. As long as it fits in the bucket, you're good. This removes guilt and builds discipline at the same time. Step number 3, do a weekly money check-in. No budgeting app can replace you looking at your money weekly. Every Sunday, take 15 minutes to look at what came in, what came out, and what is left. You don't do this to judge yourself, but you do this so that you can learn how you're spending your money. This builds awareness, not anxiety. Over time, your habits shift naturally without any forced budgeting. So if you've tried budgeting and it never worked, Now you know why. So, what part of this anti-budgeting system would work best for you? Let me know in the comments. I read everyone. Now that you know why traditional budgeting doesn't work, check out my next video that speaks about whether you should buy a car cash, lease it, or finance it from the bank. See you in the next one.